Have you guys ever wondered how bees make a new queen? Maybe whenever the bees are in a situation where they don't have a queen, maybe they need to make a new queen, and how do they do it? How does it all go down, and how do bees make a new queen, and how do bees manage swarming, and how do they make swarm cells? Hey everyone, Grayson here from Wildwood's Honeybee Farms, and today we're going to be talking all about the queen cycle, how bees make a new queen, and a few tips for whenever you're raising your queens, and what you should do with your queens. All about queens, folks. So first, let's start out. How do bees make a new queen whenever they are queenless? So whenever the bees are queenless, they'll usually go for around a free 4-day-old worker larvae. So before the queen died, or maybe they're superseding her, the queen laid some eggs, and then they probably eventually turned into larvae. So once that queen dies, they will either take a 3-day-old larvae, or they'll take older larvae. They'll take any larvae. A lot of times bees will take older larvae, and that ends up being the queen that isn't the best queen. What we usually try to do, we try to get the bees to use a small larvae to feed it royal jelly longer. I'll be getting to that in just a second here, folks. But first, let's start out with the first easy thing. They start out with about a 3, 4, 5-day-old larvae, let's say somewhere around there. They start feeding it royal jelly instead of bee milk or bee bread. This turns the larvae into a queen larvae, and therefore they feed it royal jelly until about day 10, when they cap it off, and then it takes 6 more days for it to pupate, and then there you go, you got yourself a queen. So first, let's make a little chart here. From day 3 to day 7, they usually feed it royal jelly. It is larvae. From there, the larvae will turn into a pupae on day 7. On day 10, they'll cap it off, and then she'll pupate in the cell, and then she will hatch, and she will become a virgin queen. And then that's how they do it. That's brief, simple. There's more things you can go deeper into it, but that's all I'm going to tell you guys. That's all you really need to focus on, is how do bees make a new queen. Simple, easy, boom. So then, usually the bees will make about 5 cells. Maybe, I see sometimes they'll make about 5 cells. That's about how much they make whenever they're queenless. Whenever maybe we're making splits, they make a couple. They don't make like 10 or 20. They don't make a whole lot. They just make maybe like 5. You know, that's just kind of what they do. But what happened is, once one of those queens, one of those virgin queens will hatch, what will happen is that queen will do a little beep sound. It's called piping. A lot of beekeepers hear it, but if you're a new beekeeper, you may not know what in the world is piping. Well, that's what the virgin queen does when she hatches out of her cell and she's walking around. She'll do a sound like me, 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 me. That's what they usually sounds like. Then another virgin queen will go me, 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 and then that means I'm going to find you and I'm going to try to kill you, because they're trying to win over the hive, basically. So it's so weird how everything goes down in the hive. It's just really like a battlefield in the hive. I just found it kind of funny whenever you talk about that. But I found this very interesting, that virgin queens can even pipe in a cell. I forgot what the day that they can do that. I think it's day 15, maybe day 14. They can do the meep, meep, meep sound in the cell. It's pretty cool how that can happen. But if you're a cell, or you're a little virgin queen in a cell that's not, you're not hatched yet, you're an easy shot for the queen that's outside, that's walking around doing the meep meep sound, trying to find other cells and sting them with her stinger. Then she kills them all. And most of the time, those are the queens that hatch out first. They're usually the older larvae. So what will happen is, those older larvae will hatch out first, kill all your younger larvae that were very good queens while you're old. It'll still be an okay queen. It just won't be the best of queen, because you want as long as you can take it for that. You really want young larvae. The reason is, so when the younger the larvae, the longer the bees will give them royal jelly. So you just get a little bit better queen out of that. I want to talk a little bit about acceptance in both of the queens, mated queens, and virgin queens, and my experience firsthand on it. So that nuke right here that I'm pointing at is a split that I made a while back, or maybe like a couple days ago, at least a week ago. And I introduced a virgin queen, one of my own virgin queens, into it. So what happened was, let me give you the brief story. I had this nuke. It was the one that had the laying worker in it. If you didn't see that video, I'll leave it up here, or I'll leave it in the description. Go check it out. But whenever I saw all those cells in there, a couple days later, I went in there and I saw the virgin queen in there. But what happened was there was another cell already there, and it was ready to be hatched. It was ready to hatch, but the other virgin queen didn't find it. So I think that virgin queen that I saw was a very young queen, is what I'm thinking. So what I did was I got her, I marked her, and a lot of times people don't like to fool around with the virgin queens, but I said, why not? Let me just go ahead and mark her, and I marked her, and it all went smoothly. Then I put her in a queen cage, put it in that little nuke. I put some candy on there. Less than 24 hours, they ate through that candy, they let her out. So I found that that virgin queen actually did pretty good. It did better than I expected. But I really have a good, I don't know, like my Italians are really good acceptors of new queens. I don't know why. If you just put a queen in there, they're probably not going to accept it. They may ball her. But if you leave it in there for at least 48, 24 hours from one of my hives and let them eat their way through the candy, you're good. You're good. That's how it all works. But if you have a mated queen, why would a virgin queen be better than a mated queen for acceptance? So I've talked about this in my videos before in live streams. I do live streams every Monday night. So if you have a chance, join me every Monday night at 7 Central U.S. Central Time. And I do live streams every Monday night. It's really fun, but sometimes I miss the live chats. Sometimes, oops, I can't catch it every time, but I try my best, folks. I just do as I can. I'll do live streams as much as I can, but I can't do them all the time. I would like to do it every Monday, but sometimes I'll miss a Monday every now and again. But it's good to give y'all a break on the Mondays, right? But back to what we're talking about. So mated queens have all that matage in her. Let's just say have all that pheromone. But I guess what you might as well say a virgin queen is just she doesn't have all that mating pheromone in her, so they may accept her better. I have talked to a lot of folks like Greg Burns and Bruce from down there in Alabama. I talked to many guys about this exact thing. I think I talked to Corey about it as well. And I talked to all these guys about it, and they all had different opinions on it. And I'm not going to say for sure that a virgin queen will be better for maintenance on a mated queen, because I have good acceptance from both of them. I don't find any better at any of them. I just find that they're both good. So that's kind of how that all plays out. And you can probably ask somebody. Everybody has their own opinion on which one accepts better. I really do like to put some virgins in there. Now I gotta wait 2 weeks for that hive to get their new queen in. Now let's talk about our last thing. So whenever you're out here in your bee yard, you're probably right here wondering, well, I introduced my virgin queen. Maybe you got a VSH virgin from Corey or some kind of virgin, or you have cells. When do I go back and check my hive and see if she is mated well? So I'm going to say this strict, clear, and easy, simple to you guys. But I suggest whenever you put a virgin queen in and let her get accepted, you can go back 48 hours to see if they let her out. If they let her out, you see in there, put it back in there. Don't go in there for about 2 weeks. So that gives 2 weeks enough time for the queen to go on her mating flight to mate with about 20 plus drones. More drones is the better the queen, in my opinion. So more of the drones that the queen mates with, the better it is and the longer the queen will last. But that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We are at 600. And I've already forgotten what it was. I think it's 626 subscribers. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe and share the channel out. That helps me a lot. Alright guys, be safe. Take care. We'll catch you guys on the next beekeeping video.